great destinations like Shumash Casino Resort during November weekly wheels. Play with your card from the club each week to win a Toyota 4Runner. SUV drawing Sundays at 10 p.m. and $25,000 slot free play drawing at 6 p.m. Shumash Casino Resort. Welcome to freedom.
Shumash Casino Resort supports responsible gaming. For more information about problem gambling, call the 24-hour problem gambling helpline at 1-800-522-4700. Must be 21 years of age or older.
The information station with information about traffic. AM 1440 and FM 106.3, KUHL.
7:33. Don't forget the KCOI Turkey Drive underway online. That's at kcoi.com. And don't forget, Good Samaritan Services has a couple of drive-through locations. And again, stay in your vehicle, wear your mask, and we'll have some folks come over and get the turkey or donation from you. We had somebody drop off a check for $100, so that's terrific. That's at Stowasser in Santa Maria on East Betaravia, 600 East Betaravia, and then also the grocery outlet in Lompoc. We'll check in with Kirsten Cahoon from Good Samaritan Services coming up in a little bit. But right now, time to talk food with our favorite grocery gal, Amy Goldsmith. Amy's helped to launch and grow some of the most well-known brands that many of us eat or at least see on the grocery shelves. She's a food industry insider and lives her life as a food finder, looking for the best new products and trends. You can follow Amy in direct message or any questions through Facebook and also on Instagram at The Grocery Gal. And Amy, welcome back to the show.
Good morning, Ben.
Well, we have a lot of listener questions, and I always like getting these. And in fact, there's one that you want to address right now.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Angela in Orchid, who sent me a really nice direct message saying that Tuesday morning, I guess, on the Today Show, they talked about the shortage of small turkeys for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And according to this report, they're mostly sold out. So she thanked me, saying I had mentioned this a few weeks ago during our Grocery Gal segment, and she already bought her small turkey, and she's all set. So thank you, Angela, for letting me know. I'm glad I could help and have a happy small turkey Thanksgiving.
Yeah, a lot of folks are going to be doing that. In fact, we've been talking to John Spencer about his turkey situation, and he told me that for the first time this year, he expects to completely run out of turkeys. You know, more people are staying home, there's smaller gatherings and that sort of thing, so...
Right, absolutely. You're not getting these gatherings where you don't have to buy a turkey. You're going to someone else's home. So this year, everyone's kind of purchasing one.
Sure. So I guess for everybody, this might depend on the market and where you're shopping, but, you know, are people running low on small turkeys out there?
I would say that they're pretty much sold out. I think that if you wanted to buy a small turkey, it might be a little late, but that shouldn't stop you, by the way, from buying a turkey because, look, there's a lot of things that you can do with, leftovers, and you can go on Amazon and buy some small containers and freeze it. You can make a stew, you can make soup, you can make turkey meals, take some of the turkey, maybe leftover stuffing and those kinds of things, and kind of make your own TV dinner and toss it in the freezer, and you can, save it for another day. You can bring some of those leftovers to your neighbors. You can bring it to the fire department. So don't be deterred by, a larger turkey. There's, definitely things that you can do with it. If you really don't want a big turkey and you really want to have some sort of poultry, there's Cornish game hens that you can make. And they're easy to make. They're delicious, and there's great recipes online that you can find. So again, I just don't be deterred by a larger turkey because you can give some of it away, and you can freeze it as well.
Oh, definitely. I come from kind of a two-person household, so if we get a big turkey at my house for Thanksgiving, yeah, we've got leftovers for many days, so that's good to know. Also, another caller question here, Amy, what is the most popular food item at Thanksgiving? We were just talking turkeys, but I don't know if you've got some more information for us.
Yeah. So I did some research, and I have to actually break it down by protein versus side dishes. It's just kind of how my research came back. And so, yeah, not surprising, 84% listed turkey as their main protein of choice during a Thanksgiving Day meal. However, 5% said ham is the main meat on their table, and 4% trend toward vegetarian options. And chicken and red meat actually barely registered.
All right, and what about side dishes? I mean, that's a very important part of Thanksgiving also.
The biggest majority was mashed potatoes at nearly 34%, with stuffing taking the second place spot at 27%, And other popular dishes in order were mac and cheese, green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole, and cranberry sauce. And like we discussed last week, apple pie is really the overall nationwide favorite pie winner. But interestingly, according to the retail sales numbers that I get, pumpkin pie seems to make an appearance. I mean, it was showing on these numbers. But based on the information that we talked about last week, people aren't really eating it. It's not a favorite. So there's some sort of compelling reason that people are buying a pumpkin pie, and they're just leaving it, and no one's eating it.
I thought pumpkin pie was a big part of Thanksgiving, but I guess maybe not anymore, and consumer habits are changing. I don't know. Weird.
I mean, they're buying it as a tradition, but it sounds like people really don't eat it. They're eating the apple pie, not so much the pumpkin pie. It's just there because it needs to be.
Interesting. All right, we have Grocery Gal Amy Goldsmith here on KUHL at 7:38. So, Amy, what is your favorite Thanksgiving item?
Probably the wine.
Yeah, good choice.
I'm just kidding. Or maybe I'm not. I don't know. Yeah. But if it's something that has to be on a fork, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
It's probably the stuffing. Okay. What about you?
I love turkey, mashed potatoes. I don't know if I've got a favorite thing. I think it's maybe just kind of sitting down. And this year it's going to be a little bit different. There's probably going to be 3 people at the dinner table this year, and usually there's maybe 8 or 9. So,
right.
So I guess maybe a favorite item. I don't know. I might have to go with mashed potatoes. Love mashed potatoes.
Yeah, always a winner. Can't go wrong there.
All right, so another question here, Amy. What is the most popular fish served during the holiday season?
This is an interesting question, because what's even more interesting is that there wasn't one significant seafood standout. There are more sales spikes in certain types of fish. So let me preface this by saying that overall meat is still the cornerstone of holiday meals, whether it's turkey, ham, or prime rib. Then there is fish, which is great, and adding it to a holiday meal can be cultural for some people, or quite honestly, kind of how fancy you want to get, So, for example, holiday dinners can include like a centerpiece-worthy Alaskan king crab legs, right, which is one of those fish that spikes in sales during the holidays. Or you can have big fillets of halibut that can anchor a meal, or side dishes with salmon in it. You can kick off your dinner menu with holiday seafood starters like jumbo scallops, and also large pots of multi-fish stews like a cioppino are popular. And some people who celebrate the holidays with brunch may have platters of chilled shrimp or smoked fish and freshly shucked oysters. So it really depends. Then, of course, there's the Feast of the Seven Fishes, which is part of the Italian-American Christmas Eve celebration. And this meal typically consists of 7 different seafood dishes. So, again, there's no real standout, but lots that you can do with seafood. And by the way, I mentioned this a week or so ago. If you're concerned about the particular fish that you want for the holidays not being available on the day that you actually want it, see if you can order it in advance from your fishmonger, or just buy it now and freeze it.
All right, so I've got to ask, what the heck is a fishmonger?
A fishmonger, it's the fish butcher. And instead of being called a butcher, they're called fishmongers.
Oh, didn't know that. Okay, ready for Trivial Pursuit now. So one more question. What is a rutabaga? This is actually my question here, Amy, because I had one the other day, and I don't know a whole lot about it. So give us the lowdown on the rutabaga.
Well, like it, or how is it served then?
So this was something my wife had made as part of a stew. So she put those in there along with potatoes and carrots and some other things. And so that was kind of my first introduction to a rutabaga.
Yeah, that's exactly probably how it should be served. A rutabaga, it's large and it's round, and it's a yellow fleshed root that's eaten as a vegetable. And the rutabaga is believed to be like a hybrid between a turnip and a cabbage. So when it's raw, it tastes a bit milder than a turnip. It's a little bit bitter, but when it's cooked, it can be buttery and sweet savory, although still a little bit bitter. They sort of taste like Yukon golden potatoes with a twist.
Yep. So I guess the other question, are they good for you?
Yes, they're packed with fiber and vitamins and antioxidants. And the fiber is great, right, because it makes a person feel full, which can prevent weight gain. And rutabagas also contain powerful compounds that help fight inflammation and prevent premature aging. And it's associated with a reduced risk potentially in various cancers. So They're higher in sugar than potatoes, but they have less than half the calories of potatoes or sweet potatoes. And because they're root vegetables and they grow underground, they absorb a great amount of nutrients from the soil. But if you buy a rutabaga from the grocery store, and Jenny can probably tell you this, they're usually sold coated in like a paraffin wax to keep them from drying out in storage. So definitely want to remove the wax before cooking them. And they can be eaten raw, but they're usually roasted or cooked and mashed sometimes with potatoes or other root vegetables and used in casseroles and stews, like you said, and soups.
Yep, pretty much. So do you eat them, Amy?
You know what? I have, but it's nothing memorable. And I don't know when or where. It's not really that popular in America.
Yeah.
Rutabagas originally come from Northern Europe, and they're much more popular. In fact, a rutabaga was once considered a food of last resort in both Germany and France because that's what they ate during the famines and food shortages in both World War I and World War II. And they basically took the rutabaga and boiled it with water, and that's what they ate a lot of. But you know what? Maybe it's time to make rutabagas cool again. I think that maybe we need to bring that back. I'm thinking of a ton of things that we can do with it.
Interesting. All right. Well, there you go. A little bit of history on the rutabaga. I didn't know a lot about that. So, Amy, thank you for that. By the way, you can follow Amy and direct message her like we had the Angela and Orchid do. That's through any questions you might have through Facebook and also on Instagram at The Grocery Gal. Amy, we'll wrap it up there for this week. But next week, we're going to make a little change. We're actually going to be interviewing you on Wednesday at 7:30. So, folks will hear that interview next Wednesday since Thursday and Friday were off for Thanksgiving here on KUHL.
Perfect. Thanks, Ben.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Don't forget birthdays and anniversary wishes. 928-1440. 928-1440 is my number. This portion of the news brought to you by Community Bank of Santa Maria.
Did you know that as much as 40% of the annual sales for small locally owned retail stores happen during the holiday season? Hello, this is Janet Silvera, President and CEO of your Community Bank of Santa Maria. As you get ready to make your holiday gift list, I hope you'll do your shopping with a local business. And here's why. By shopping with hometown merchants,